So the question I want to ask is, to whom should you give your fucks? If we're going to talk about giving a fuck about something, what should we give a fuck about? To whom and for what? The question might be asked. So I like the idea of giving zero fucks. Because giving zero fucks is a nice attitude. But the question is, do you really want to give zero fucks? Or do you want to give a fuck about the things that matter most to you, the things that touch you deepest? Do you want to give all of your fucks to that and zero fucks to what? To what else? What does it mean to give zero fucks? So I'm just going to suggest, give zero fucks to what other people think about you. Give zero fucks about their judgment of you. Unless you actually respect their opinion. Because if you respect their opinion, if you admire their capacity to judge, to evaluate, and someone who you respect evaluates you and says, hey, that thing right there, not good, I think you should give a fuck about that. But for most people out there who you don't respect, really, honestly, don't give a fuck about what they say, because their random judgments of your character, your morality, your vision, your personality, your choices in life. Like, who gives a fuck? Answer, not you. Perhaps. This is just an idea. The question is, who do you want to give a fuck to or about? What do you care about? What do you value enough that it's worth giving a fuck about? And what is it that doesn't rank high enough on your hierarchy of values to give any fucks about? And so I'm suggesting one of them is what other people think of you. Because mostly they don't think of you. Right? The old joke is, if you knew how little people cared about you, you would be offended. But some people take it upon themselves to judge. Yes, you should do this and you shouldn't do this. And I speak from this position of judgment I like to take, right? I say this is how it is, right? People take that attitude. And for those people, I think you should give exactly this many fucks. Those people deserve that many fucks. Because everybody's got an opinion. The question is their opinion worthwhile? Whose while? Your while. Now, Jordan Peterson is one of the leading voices to say, hey, wait a minute. If the people around you in general don't like who you're being, you should listen to that. And I agree. If a wide range of people who don't have some ideological bent to them and who don't have a cause and an agenda that they're trying to use you to forward their agenda, but if the people around you say, hey, that thing you're doing, not cool. Listen, generally, people's opinions is worth listening to. But if they don't really know what you're doing, if they don't really understand it, then they're not in a position to give you good feedback. Even people you admire might misunderstand what you're up to, in which case, again, zero fucks. Although if it's someone you admire, you want to maintain the relationship. So if someone's judging you, you want to talk to them and say, okay, you want to give me feedback on this? Here's what I'm doing. Here's my real thing. Here's my thought. What do you think? Now that you know what I'm really up to, what do you think? Assuming it's someone you admire, they're going to give you good feedback. So what do you give zero fucks about? The opinions of people that you don't care about. Right? People who are not fuckworthy. People who are not worth your fucks. Don't give your fucks to unfuckworthy people or ideas. Now, it does happen sometimes that you actually admire and respect a person and their opinion. You care about it. You think, wow, they're intelligent and they're rational and they're knowledgeable and they have a clue about this. And so their opinion, their judgment, their evaluation is useful to me. Like I should give a fuck about that. And so I do give fucks to that person around that issue. But that same person around other issues, not so much. Right? They might know what they're talking about in one area, but not another. Or they might be grounded and solid in their knowledge around an area, their opinions around an area, where they're balanced. They can see the pros and the cons, and they balance that out, and they integrate, and they say, here's what I think. Around some areas and other areas, they're kind of ideologically possessed, like they're in a fervor and they're self-righteous and it's like they're not looking at pros and cons and costs and benefits. They're on a warpath, and I give zero fucks for that kind of conversation. That's not the kind of conversation I want to be part of. If we're actually going to deal with the thing, let's deal with the thing, which means pros and cons, costs and benefits. Let's really look at what's the reality here in all of its complexity, so we can actually come up with some way forward that actually addresses reality, rather than just winning a conversation about who's right and who's wrong. And it's like, whoa, I just give zero fucks about that kind of conversation. The issue I might care about, I might give a lot of fucks about an issue, but a way of having a conversation, I just zero fucks about. And sometimes that's the same person. Sometimes there are people who I respect profoundly in some areas, but in other areas, no, thank you very much. Zero fucks. Like, how many fucks am I going to give you? Zero. That's right. This also happens a lot in the kind of transactions that we do in our normal life. If we go into a business, if we're doing a business deal, or if we're part of an organization or a community, and we're dealing with a particular person around a particular project. And around that project, the person is bringing intelligence and rationality and knowledge and a sense of balance. They're really looking to understand the situation, and they've got a clue. And they're bringing, okay, so I deal with them. But then out of the blue, they want to bring in some conversation, some political or social issue. Well, what do you think about this? And don't you hate those people? Aren't those people evil? Right? And again, whoa, zero fucks. How do I get out of that conversation as much as possible? Right? Again, just because someone has unpleasant and undesirable, zero fuck worthy opinions and ideas around one thing doesn't mean that they don't have excellent fuck worthy opinions and ways of being around others. And learning how to deal with that is part of the trick. Because, I respect some people about some things and not others. And I have to make that choice. That's what this video, this rant, is really about. It's encouraging you to make the choice. Where do you want to give your fucks? If something is fuck-worthy, then give it your fucks. Like, really do it. And if something is not fuck-worthy, then give it zero fucks. Like, don't give it any fucks. Don't give it just a little fucks. Just kind of no. Choose what is worth your time and your energy and your relationships and your capital and your intelligence. What is worthy of yourself, your fucks? And then give your fucks to that, not to the other parts. That's what this is about. And you might make a mistake. I know I make mistakes. I know, surprisingly, but no, of course I make mistakes. Sometimes I give a fuck about things that it turns out later I realize are unfuckworthy. and that I give 0 fucks to something that I later realized was fuckworthy, at least in some way, shape, or form. That's okay. I'm good with that because I choose according to my best understanding, my best courage, my best rationality and intelligence and caring, what I think is fuckworthy. And I say yes and I say no. And I take responsibility for that choice. I am the author of that choice. And you know this, the more responsibility you take around any issue in your life, the faster you learn how to be with that area of life, how to interact with that area of your life in a way that makes you more powerful, more beautiful, more skillful. The more responsibility you take, the faster you learn. To the degree that you don't take responsibility, to the degree, well, everybody seems to be giving a fuck about this. Maybe I should at least pretend to give a fuck about this so that the people who are like really, they care about this and they've got a judgment, and it's like, I don't want to deal with that. So I'll just kind of I'll give a few fucks about it so that I can play along and get the respect of people who I don't respect in that area. And I'm saying no. Why not choose? If you give a fuck about it, then give the fucks. And if you don't give a fuck, then give 0 fucks. And take responsibility for that and learn how to make that choice. And the more you take responsibility for making that choice, the better you get at making that choice. And you learn. And in the process, you become someone who puts their self, their energy into the things that you want, the things that you care about, not the things that you don't. And that's the reason why we want to give 0 fucks. We don't want to be giving our fucks away to people who don't deserve it. Because then we've got fewer fucks available to give to the people and the projects and the vision and the values that we really care about. And if there's anything we want to do in life, it's that we want to be profitable in our fuckery. We want to give fucks where we get more fucks back than we give in the best possible way. We want to care in such a way that our caring and our investment gives us more life and love and caring and intimacy and the things we really care about, the more values. We want to invest the value of our time and our effort and our intelligence and our relationships, our cash. We want to invest them in such a way that we get more thriving, more meaning, more beauty back, so that we're now richer so we can give more fucks and get more fucks and give more fucks. Like, it is just a fantastic little ambiguous turn of phrase, isn't it? So, to whom should we give our fucks? Right? To our ideals. And to whom should we give 0 fucks? People who we don't respect. Now, that doesn't, of course, mean being rude. There's no need to be rude. There's no need to be inconsiderate. Right? This isn't about be assholes to certain people and be nice to other people. No, be nice to everybody. But don't sacrifice yourself in order to maintain the opinion of people who you don't respect. Especially when so many people in this world seem to, like, they build their entire self around how much offense they can take. Do you really want to limit your life to their assholishness? So anyway, my vote is no. Give all of your fucks to the things that you care about most. Again, I'm Mark Michael Lewis, the profitability coach from heroicmeaning.com and thrivingpartnerships.com. And as always, I leave you with a challenge. Make your deepest happiness your highest priority.